Lauren Jean Show. I bring this podcast to you to share stories about situations in my life to help you take a journey into your own mind and finally commit to change. Let's get into the show. Hey guys, welcome back to another show. Thank you so much for being here. First and foremost, I want to apologize for sort of being MIA since September 11th. And you know what? There's a good reason for that. And this is the first time that I have had this issue. I have been trying to record this intro and the before and after of this podcast for 2.5 weeks. I've been having such technical difficulties that it's really getting on my nerves. So I want to cut to the chase and forget all the fluff this time. I just want to get into this interview. I am interviewing Joseph Ghabi, and Joseph is a former engineer, banker, and international sales manager. His past is packed with degrees and certifications given only to people of science and logic, yet Joseph's true gifts Joseph appears blah, 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 blah. This is just the kind of week that I'm having, guys, and it's kind of crazy. So let me try to do that sentence once again. So Joseph's true gift appears in an area less frequented by typical scientists. An expert numerologist, he definitely is, healer and spiritual leader. Joseph speaks on topics ranging from relationships and the law of attraction to life purpose and past histories. He's well known for his expertise in finding your authentic peace with the past. So yes, this episode was supposed to air on September 12th. It did not. I had to take a break because I was going absolutely crazy. My GarageBand, which is where I record my podcasts, has not been cooperating with me. And I really believe that is because I'm going through lots of shifts in life. I seem to go through a lot more shifts lately since I am aware and accepting of change in my life. And that's huge. That's huge. And for the first time, I'm not freaking out over not putting out the podcast at the perfect time. I do intend to keep the Tuesdays scheduled, which is why I am putting this out on Tuesday, and that is the 26th that you're listening to this. So I really hope you can understand that sometimes we just go through difficulties in life, and in this case, difficulties with technology. So without any further ado, let's listen to Joseph Ghabi talk about numerology, the blueprint of your life. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another show. I have on with me right now Joseph Ghabi, and I went into all of his details and everything already. So I want to just kind of jump into this conversation here because I have been super into just kind of like the deeper meaning of life in general. And I've started really getting into intuition, learning how to tap into that. And for the longest time, really years, probably 5+ years now, I have been seeing the same number over and over and over again, to the point where it's kind of getting annoying because I have no idea why. And that's where me and Joseph had met online, because I was looking for someone specifically in this area, and he just jumped on and we had this long conversation through Facebook Messenger, and I knew I just wanted to have him on. So I want to get into exactly what blueprint numerology is, because I did mention it in the intro, but if you can go into what that means for you in your business, and then we can start chatting it up and see where this conversation takes us, because I'm really curious about what that is.
Very good. Thank you, Lauren, for having me with you and for your listeners today. And Blueprint Numerology is something I created Blueprint numerology is exactly numerology, but in a different way to look at numerology. Because most numerologists, you go to see them or talk to them, they tell you what's your destiny. And this is ABC, this is your destiny, and move on. Me, I don't care about your destiny, to be honest. Because what's the point to tell you what's your destiny when I see you're stuck in your life? I need to help you to be unstuck first, and then you will see your destiny, because you already signed a soul agreement with your soul to live this life. So you already know your destiny, but unfortunately, because you have cloud in front of your face, you're not seeing it clearly because of whatever residue you have from the childhood that you never addressed in a good way or a proper way. And this is when it's coming for you to start looking into it in a better perspective. So Blueprint numerology is basically, it's a numerology, but based more on the healing than prediction.
Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, because who wants to be told what their destiny is? And it's kind of like going to a psychic and them telling you that you're gonna like die.
Yeah, but remember, even if I tell you what's your destiny, and you are sitting in a dish right now, and because you're having so many troubles where you are today, you won't believe what I'm telling you.
Very true.
You won't believe it, because I'm not there. I don't see anything in front of me. I'm stuck. I need help here, Yeah. But when you get out from that hole that you're sitting in, and you start going into the road, and you start looking forward, you start getting the ideas as they start formulating, because now you're floating. But before you weren't floating, because you were not seeing anything from under. And that's why, even if I'm telling you what your destiny is, it's a waste of time, because it's not going to make any difference.
Very true, very true. Because when you're kind of stuck in that moment, it's hard for you to see anything, really, anything at all, except what your mind is currently telling you, which is probably a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, and this is why you see people stuck. They're stuck, and in 25 years doing Blueprint numerology charts for my clients, and I've done thousands of them. And the main one question that everybody keep asking me, what's my destiny? I said, how come the people, they're not seeing their destiny? And that's when my guidance told me, they said, look, they're stuck. Because they're stuck in their childhood for whatever happened in their life, and they need help to get out from there. And this is where I started the inner child work based on the childhood, and let's clean up that mess. And the childhood experiences that comes for me is by the soul agreement. So if you have an agreement, me and you now, this is why we are meeting. If we don't have an agreement, we're not talking on this call today. Doesn't matter, because you can pick up another numerologist because you have an agreement with them. They will be better suited for you. So we always attract people in our life because of a signed agreement. And certain people are assigned an agreement to give us our worst nightmare experiences, and some to help us get out from those experiences, and some to lead us towards the purpose. So we have different type of agreements. We have the bad ones, the ugly, and the good ones. So we have all type of agreements. And there's nobody that comes into your life by coincidence. Now, if you have a problem, for example, you had with dad or even mom, doesn't matter, and mom or dad supposed to teach you something about learning to trust in yourself, as an example, and you didn't get it, because you get into the victimized mood about it, and she said, and you get upset for the experience that happened, and that you caught up into the story of it without looking into the substance of it. Then at the end of it, so what happened is you're going to attract your first person that you're going to be dating have exactly the same energy of mom and dad for the same experience. And how many people you keep hearing from them, I keep attracting the same people in my life. Well, hello, why you keep attracting them? Because there's something you haven't addressed yet. Because they always comes from everywhere. Even they come into people at work, from friends, from family people, They can come from even clients, if you have your own clients. So they're gonna always keep attracting the people that resonate with where you are today. And the moment you address what you're having, then you stop seeing those people completely, because their job is finished.
Yes, that makes sense, and I hear that a lot. So how does someone, I'm echoing, I'm gonna have to take that out. Okay. Edit. It stopped echoing. Okay, so right from here, take this out. So how does someone start looking into really honing into themselves? And let's just use this example here because we're talking about numerology here, and I want to get into that like deep so people can understand. How does someone start to figure out why they're attracting a certain person, let's just say, because that's what you were talking about, into their lives? Let's start there.
Let's take out the word figuring out, because figuring out is like trying, and trying is I tried, but if it didn't was successful, well, I tried, but that's an excuse. So figuring out is not going to happen. Unfortunately, you cannot figure it out on your own because it doesn't work, because your subconscious, your story will always bring you to the same place. So you need somebody else from outside that they have no idea who Lauren is, that they can see the full picture of her, instead of seeing yourself, seeing it the same way. Now, Les Brown paraphrased it in a very nice quote, and I love his quote. You cannot see the picture if you are living in the frame.
I like that.
You know what I mean? If you are in the frame, how are you going to really figuring out anything? Because you're not seeing the whole picture. So numerology will help you to identify how was your experience from day one when you were born, and it goes from stages according to 9-year cycles. And if every 9 years you didn't learn your lesson, then you drag it with you for the next 9 years, and then you keep repeating the same experiences, and this is why you keep attracting the same people. Then you keep going till how many times you spoke with people, they are 50 years old. When you keep talking with them, you listen to their conversation seriously, and you say, it's like I'm talking to a 10-year-old kid, because that 50 years old is still stuck at 10-year-old, and they never move forward from there. Their body grown up, but they're not themselves. Their energy has been trapped. And that's where we need to free that trapping energy that came from the childhood. Your biggest agreement that you signed with is your mom and dad. If you have stepmom, stepdad, the same way. So you need to unlock those agreements. You need to close them. Now, when you close those agreements, doesn't mean I'm no longer speaking with my mom or dad. That's wrong. That's not true. Eventually, you're improving your relationship with them. And you, at the same time, you free yourself and you free them at the same time, because they are stuck with that agreement, and that's where you need to move beyond those. But you're not able to see it yourself. If I want to look into my own stuff, even though I know how to do everything, I need to talk to somebody else, because I'm in the frame. So I need to see somebody else from the outside and say, look, this is what it is. And that's where you can start taking it from those perspectives. So, but you'll have a bigger, grander vision. So the numerology chart, what it helped me is to give me the blueprint, who you are. Because most people, when they come to me, if they tell me who they are, they tell me something, but it doesn't mean anything to me. Because that's most of the time is not the problem. We think it is a problem, but it's not the problem. So when I start seeing, oh my goodness, they have this vibration with this vibration in the childhood, so this is the type of experience that when I start talking about those experiences, I said, oh my God, yeah, I have that. I completely forget about it. Because they thought their problem is today. That's not true. Their problem is still sitting into the first vibration, and this is where people got stuck, in the first vibration even. They got stuck because they don't want to deal with whatever happened at that time. So the numerology chart, it is a good indicator, and we all should have it once done in our life, period. Because we need to know where are we. The best time to do it, if you are 20 years old, you're getting out from your parents, then let me find out who my true self is. The second time, if you haven't done it at 20, you can do it at 40, you can do it at 30, you can do it at any age. But figure out who you are. Now, stop playing with your name. Your name, every time you play with it, you're going to be jeopardizing yourself. Because every name you use, you have a different personality with it. So who am I today? Now, women experience it more than men because every time they get married, they change their name. So every time they get married, they have the new experience. Sometimes they gain and strengthen their experience. Sometimes they lose. And when they lose, this is where the problem is. I remember I was talking with one client one time. I said, because you're not using any longer your maiden name, you have and you're using your married name now, you have now the possibility to completely, you might have the possibility of having an experience of divorcing that husband. She said, we're already doing it now. I said, but if you kept your maiden name, you didn't have that possibility to do it. And that's the difference. Sometimes we need to become aware. So anytime a woman, she needs to change her name, I do advise to do a consultation on her name. What that's gonna look like for me if I'm gonna go with that person in my life. How it's gonna look like. Why we need to go to walk in life and we have a dim light on in front of us? Why don't we have a projector showing us the road? Because we all have that capacity to do it, but we never do it. You know, and especially when you go to and get numerology chart, you can get it online these days, but this is generic. This is giving you exactly how the date of birth. So if 10 people, 20 people, they have the same vibration, they're all gonna have the same chart. It's a generic, but we need to do it more customized to you. How does it, you know, till now, for after 25 years, I still do it by hand. I calculate every chart by hand because it's unique to you. And I do it usually 1 hour before I do the chart for somebody because I want to be embodied with the chart. I want to feel it. And then this way I can speak it. You know, because to my amazement today, after 25 years plus doing those charts, I haven't seen two charts the same way.
That's amazing.
Are genius in the ways they construct the life of that person. But what we do most of the time, we sabotage it. We make something just to get out from whatever it is we have to get out. And that's where we need to start changing those ways and start to get to learn about ourselves first. So basically for me, before I start doing any healing with somebody, we need to go through the numerology chart. We need to see who they are as a person. Not what their mom told them who they are, or their dad told them who they are, or whatever it is. I don't take those nonsense. I want to see the soul when the soul wants to come here, decided on the date of birth to be born, and decided on the name to be named for a reason. You know, so your parents get your name because they were intuitively, directly or indirectly, they got the name for you. And you can ask any parents, they all have a story, how the name came about. So if they all have a story, that's mean it was induced to them by your soul that wants to have that recognition of a vibration. But don't jeopardize it later. You know, you came for that specific name for a reason, for you to shine through that vibration. Now, if you take any vibration, you take it from your name, any letter from your name is a vibration, you take it out, then that's gonna become an experience on you that you didn't have to have it in the beginning. But you'd like to sabotage yourself, so good luck. So it's a choices. Remember, we make our choices because you have a free will. I cannot sit down here and say this is right or wrong, and I cannot even judge you for what you're doing because you made a choice, and I respect the free will that you made that choice. But as long as you don't complain about your life,
Right.
You make whatever choice, but every choice we make in life, normally it has its good and bad stuff. And we need to stop to complain or blaming somebody else.
Right. Looking inside of yourself.
Because everything is coming through us. We are the one who making the problem to ourselves, and we are the one who mostly judge ourselves the most, criticize ourselves the most, and nobody else. If your mom gave you a problem at age 5 to 10, and after that she never did, why are you still holding the grudge on her till now? So who's doing more damage now, your mom or you?
Oh, you.
That's it. I mean, if you're today 35 years old, 40, whatever the age, or 29 even, doesn't matter the age. If she did for 5 years and you're 30 today, that's 25 years difference. Who's doing more damage?
Very true.
So we need to go and do the healing. The healing work is so easy. I don't believe in healing all your life. That's nonsense. You need to go and close the agreements. And the agreements, I have a program coming up. It's called Soul to Soul Connection Masterclass. And in that, we do it in a 9-week. Let's close the headache of that. We don't need to keep that running. This program is running all year long. It's a 9-week program. And if we didn't finish in the first 9 weeks, I can bring you on to the next 9 weeks because I want you to close everything and set yourself free and stop playing around because it's no longer working. So, and once you finish from that, then you can start looking into, I have another program to go for the limiting belief system, that we created through our own experiences. And this is called Release and Renew program. And the Release and Renew program, I go through the fear of the unknown, the fear of using your power and gift, the fear of failing, and all the type of fear that were created because of the experiences we experienced before.
Right.
This is normal. So this is another 9 weeks. So this is 2 9 weeks program. Once you have them together, you're cleared. Technically, you're cleared because we've taken out the energy from your side and set yourself free. It's not me, I'm doing it for you. I'm assisting you for you to do it on your own because that's what we call the active healing for us to keep, to be involved into our own healing. Because when you go to a healer and you lie down on the table for them to fix you, seriously, then nobody can allow to fix you because it's your experience. It's your experience. You need to be involved into the healing itself on your, I'll give you all the tools you need and you can unplug things on your own and when you're ready to unplug them. Once you do that, now you earned your own healing because now you're going to be able to, at one point, to understand why I went for this experience. Now, the beauty of it, once you get into that, because whatever happened in your early childhood is exactly what you're supposed to be doing in your purpose. So how can you go and understand your purpose when you still haven't dealt with this childhood? Because they're all related.
Right.
And that's why people are not seeing their destiny because they haven't understood what the destiny is going to be about. And
So
because it's coming figuring out is not going to happen. Again, figuring out is not, we need to address what happened to us in the early stage. We need to address that in order for us to start seeing clearly where we're going. And that's where it makes it the more sense to it. But if we're just doing it for the sake of and I keep walking. Hopefully, I don't hit a wall along the way. You're gonna hit many walls. We're all gonna hit walls. But there's difference between hitting a wall and coming out from that wall, or whatever is you keep holding yourself. We don't need to hit any wall along the way. We don't need to be stuck into any point in our life. Anytime we're stuck, we need to question ourselves, why am I stuck?
That makes sense.
Instead of questioning it's the fault of the government, it's the fault of the weather, it's the fault of, this is all excuses. Or the biggest excuse is also, I don't have the money for it, I don't have this for it. Opportunities are coming into our life all the time, but we always make an excuse. So who's sabotaging themselves now?
Oh, we're always sabotaging ourselves all the time.
We'll find many tricks of it, and we're the expert of it. So then stop complaining. That's all.
It's so true. It's so true. So let me ask you a question. When you start working with someone, you said that you have a blueprint already set before you're even working with them. What exactly, if you can even help us understand your process of how you go ahead to figure out these charts? Okay,
so I'm gonna ask you, what's your name?
My name?
And I'm gonna. This is what I'm gonna ask everybody. So, what is the name you use today? What is your date of birth? And what's the name on your birth certificate?
Okay. Are you actually asking me? Do you want to know?
No, I'm telling you the process. Okay. So, if this is what the process I'll take. So when I start drawing the chart, I start with the date of birth, and this is fixed for you. Doesn't matter how many names you use, your date of birth is always fixed, because you only have one date of birth. So I draw that date of birth, then I go to the name. When I see the name, there's so many ups and downs in it, there's so many missing numbers, then I go back to the original name. What did you sabotage in it? And then this is when my conversation will be with you, how to put you back to normal. Because you're completely sabotaging yourself for whatever reason. We're not judging here also. But it's not like I'm gonna tell you to change your name. I'm gonna give you the possibility. This is a choice you have to make. It's not up to me to change it for you. I'm telling you, because of that, you have those missing numbers in your name now, and because of those missing numbers, you're gonna encounter those missing problems. Those problems, you're gonna start to face them. If you're okay with that, then fine with me. But what the numerology chart will bring to you in the beginning, very important thing, is you'll bring you the awareness of your destiny and will help you to see where you're stuck along the journey to your destiny. The second would give you more the challenges that you're going to be facing in your life. So from early stage, from childhood, from going to growing up on your own until the end of life. The third thing that you're going to get from the chart, we're going to learn about your weakness, and we're going to learn about your strengths. And if I ask Lauren, what is your strengths? Most of the time, not about you, just I'm reframing it here, but most of the time we're going to always talk about our weakness. We don't speak about our strengths because we disregard them. And we all have strengths. It's not one have strengths, one doesn't. It's not one can do healing and other one doesn't. We all can do everything. It depends on how old is your soul. This is how the extensity of what you can do. It's your call. It's not mine. It's not anybody. It's the strength of your soul. But many times we have no idea where it is. Then we will learn about your destiny, your karma. What are the lessons that you need to learn in this lifetime? What's the experience that you're gonna go through in this lifetime? And that can change all the time. It depends on how you can play with your name. You can add to it, you can subtract to it. It depends how you use your name. And that's where the sabotage comes from the most of the time. Because your name brings lots of experiences. Depends how you use your name. You can have more experiences or less experiences. Now, if you take a look into Hollywood, and what is their major problem is relationships.
Yeah.
They don't stick into any relationship because they have many names. So when they meet somebody, they meet for one name. Then if they are doing another movie or at one point shooting a movie, they embody that name all day long and they go home with it instead of leaving it in the studio. Now, their partner, they don't recognize the new character. So they're talking from that character now. And because they never left it. And most separation in Hollywood is during a movie. You know, because the more we use name, the more confused we become. And other people won't relate to us. We become confused about it, and then we got to start arguing. And when you start arguing, then everything starts to fall down until it completely destroys that relationship. But the more, if you tell me today I'm confused in my life, then I will ask you immediately that simple question: how many names do you use? The more names you use, the more confused you are. The more names you use, the more confused you are, and that's, you like it or not. That's reality. Because every name has a set of core in the chart. From the core of the element of the chart, each name will bring you a different set of vibration. So if one name has this set, and that name has another set, and that name has another set, so when you go to work, you're wearing one hat. Then when you come home, you need to change another hat. And when you see your friends, you're having a third hat. Now, sometimes you forget to change the hat. Then you have argument. Because those people that relate to that name, they cannot correspond with that name because you're not the same personality. And they won't understand you well. As simple as that. Look, life is simple. We complicated. We are the master of complication when we're going to bring it to our life. And we cannot blame it on anybody else. We are the one who's complicating the whole thing. Make sense?
Yeah, it really does. Wow.
How simple is that?
I'm going to have to do some major editing here because this keeps echoing on me. Can you hear it okay on your end?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, anyway, edit that out. Yeah, so that's really interesting what you just said about the names, because I don't know if you remember when we first connected on Facebook, you asked me my name and I'm just like, oh boy, that's a story.
Well, look, you have to come into a term at one point to say, what do I want? Do I want to live a miserable life, or I want to have an easy life? You know, because if you came in with set of stuff, now you're going against them. You're defiant because maybe of certain experiences in your life that you want defiant to make the changes. But don't do things that is no longer serving you, you know?
Oh yeah, totally.
You know,
yeah,
and especially if you're not happy with your life. And how we can tell if we are happy? Because remember, our birthright is to be happy, joyful, and fulfilled. Now, there's so many people that are happy in 1-2 areas in their life, joyful in 1-2 areas in their life, but they're not fulfilled. Because fulfillment, we need to have the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, and bring some harmony between them. Mm-hmm. Now, what happened how you find out if you're fulfilled or not? Now, you're successful, you're even a millionaire, and you're living a lavishing life and everything, but you're always alone because you cannot maintain a relationship. Now, when we cannot sit into a relationship for too long, or we've been single for too long, that means there's a problem here. Because you need one person in your life out of 7.5 billion. You need one. So if I'm sitting in a relationship for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, where I'd like to be into a relationship, but I'm not able to sustain or be into one, then there's a problem that's not in the relationship, it's something coming from before. Now, if you want to be single, but you agree on being single, that's your free will. You want to be single because you want to concentrate on something else. That's your free will. That's no judgment about that. But if you want to be into a relationship, but you're not able to do it for whatever reason, and you only need 1 out of 7.5 billion, then there's a problem. Now, the second part where we see that we're having no fulfillment, when we keep attracting sicknesses. We're always sick. We always have pain, shoulder pain. We always have headache. We always have this. We always have that. We start attracting major big disease, cancer, MS, all different style of diseases. Whatever it is, they're all names. That's all. And they're symptoms. They're not the problem. So we need to go back into what brought us to have those. That means you're not fulfilled. Fulfillment, we need to balance all the elements. So if you're always sick or you're always single, where you want to be with somebody and you're not able to achieve it, that means you're not fulfilled yet. Because so what if you have all the money, but you're always lonely? So what if you have all the money and you only can pay for your prescription drugs when you're always sick? So big deal.
Right.
So this is where we need to start measuring ourselves, our own reality, and then seek the help we need to seek in order to get out from where we are at this moment. Because you're here to have the ending of your life to be happy, joyful, and fulfilled. If you're not attaining those, there's something wrong. And remember, anything we don't address in this lifetime will become our future lifetime, because we still need to learn it.
It's never going to go away.
It's not going to go away. It's part of the soul agreement you signed with your soul. And there's one thing that most people avoid, which is, when the last time you asked your soul for help? For many people, never. Look, an agreement is between two people. If I'm signing an agreement with you, that means there's some part of it for me to fulfill, and there's some part of it for you to fulfill, right?
Right.
That's a normal standard agreement. So as we agree between us. So if part of my agreement to go through a tough childhood in order to gain a specific purpose, now, when the last time you asked your soul for that help? Because your soul, anything you ask, has the obligation to assist.
That makes sense.
Because most of us have a hard time to receive.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is why we never ask the soul. So, because when you go back into the soul at one point, and the soul said, Lauren, have you fulfilled the task we're about to do? No, I didn't. Well, I didn't have money all the time. I keep running into the same bozos. I keep doing this. He said, okay, have you asked me for money and I didn't deliver it? No, I never thought about that. Then we have to repeat that life.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So anything we're trying to avoid in this lifetime is not going to run away. And how many people you hear them, oh, this is my last lifetime here. I'm not coming back here. Oh, yeah, we'll see. Have you addressed your life? If you haven't, you're going to come back regardless. Because it's part of the agreement that you signed that you're going to fulfill. So sometimes if for you to deal with mom or dad, might take you 3, 4, 5 lifetimes together until you wake up and said, oh, I'm fed up of this. It's time to deal it. And dealing with it is only closing the agreement. That's all. Being conscious about it and to close the agreement. And even if your mom and dad passed away, it doesn't matter. You still can't close the agreement. Because we don't want to come back with them again to do the same experience. So one time your mom and the other time they are your mom. Hello, we keep doing the same thing, but in reverse. But we need to stop that train. And if you're having your ancestry all coming from the same downline that they have the same problem, We need to stop that. We need to stop that. If a soldier was born during the Roman times and he died suddenly, then he born into another lifetime. Immediately he got attracted to be a soldier again, and he died again. He keep dying lifetime after lifetime as being a soldier. One day he woke up, he said, what the heck's going on here? And he started working on being a soldier to dismantle what's this pattern that he repeating. And he'll discover by having somebody to help him to see it from an outside observation. And then he released that. I bet you whatever you want, he won't be attracted to be a soldier anymore because he closed it. We're all living into a patterns. We're bringing them from our past lifetime. And there's so many, from looking to the chart, I can tell who is coming as a repeat.
That's interesting. Really? Yeah.
Because a repeat, we can see it instantly in the chart. They're repeating their life. And that's what a waste of time. Keep repeating.
Yeah. Seriously.
I mean,
A waste of time.
why are we going to keep doing the same thing over and over? But remember, when you repeat, okay, you're going to come with a different name, a different time of born, different culture, different, because you're going to come into a new life, but you're still running the same pattern of experiences. Now, because you have to remember, you only have this lifetime, only one lifetime, under this name you're using and date of birth. That's your only chance. You can come with to keep trying different experiences to give it, but you're still running into the same problems. But with that name, when you want to have that name, when you leave here and all the information about Lauren today and everything she done, she accomplished, she been defeated or whatever she dealt or she didn't deal with it, they're all gonna go into your Akashic record. If I want to go back a few lifetimes to see who I was 2 lifetimes back, they can get me, Lauren. Oh my God, that's me again. Two lifetimes I was doing exactly the same thing. It's already in my present life. We're not supposed to be surprised about that because we never addressed it. Otherwise, you didn't see it. Nobody's gonna tell you about it because it's not important. It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
And that's how we need to start changing our way we look to life. The moment you change your way of looking to life, life will look differently at you.
So tell me, what is like the first thing someone can do to start really digging into this type
digging into this? They need to start to learn about their full chart. They need to learn, and don't do it through online stuff because that's nonsense. They need to get, and somebody, not to tell them who they're gonna become. They need somebody from a healing perspective to look at it, where they're stuck in their life. How can they help them? Because if I have somebody with a chart and they're running into problems with it, I can help them after that. I can take them to the next level, the third level, the fourth level. Depends where they want to go. Because I can start with a childhood and take them all the way to their purpose if they want to continue that far. Because I've been doing it for 25 years. So it's not like, but we need to start with, let's get to know each other. And the blueprint chart will tell us all what's on the table. And you're going to recognize from doing the chart, because I'm going to do it one-on-one. I'm going to be talking about it. I'm not going to send you a report. This is it. There's no report. I'm going to have it recorded because you're not going to remember half of it after. So you're going to have it recorded, but we're going to say, that is the chart. That is the chart. This is how everything. While saying it, you're going to recognize I still have those weaknesses in my early childhood. Now, the next thing you're going to ask me, how can you help me with those, to get rid of those? Because I'm stuck there. You're going to recognize it. I'm not going to tell you you're stuck there because you're going to recognize it. I don't know your story. I don't know your life. And I don't need to know it. But when I say a negative side at childhood, you had lots of self-doubt, and you look at yourself now and still have self-doubt now, then there's a problem. That's mean whoever brought me the self-doubt as a child, I need to address that. I cannot fix it today. Like if you want to go on stage, but I don't have confidence, it's not the problem. Going on stage is your problem. Is whoever provided you the no confidence at the young age. That's the problem. We have to go there. We always look for this. We try to fix the symptom, but the symptom is not the problem. If somebody have eating disorder today, I don't care about their eating disorder. Okay, the eating disorder, you'd like to control something yourself that nobody else can control it. Who was controlling yourself before? And most of the time they tell you mom or dad. Okay, let's go work there. I don't talk about the eating disorder because the eating disorder to me, it's already a symptom. It's not a problem. The eating disorder is already a symptom. It's not a problem. And that's where it has to be addressed that way. You know, so you're going to go back to the original of the problem. Where was that problem? And address it.
Gotcha.
You know, but we need to start from a numerology chart to understand who you are, because I'm not going to depend on you telling me, this is who I am. Okay. Really? You know, because it doesn't make sense. If your date of birth here, you have those experiences, what happened to those? Oh, I forgot about those. Then I need those, the essential information I need. You know what I mean? So if I don't feel self-love can come from being as a fetus. You never felt, when you were in the tummy of your mom, that you never felt loved or you never felt wanted. Mm-hmm. And it starts build up from then. From 3 months, your subconscious starts recording every instance that happened from 3 months fetus. You know, it starts recording. So those information you get at that point, those are the one you're going to be looking into it, and we're going to deal with it from that point on.
Interesting.
You know, but everything happened for a reason. It's not like we need to judge anything. It's like, but we need to address it. That's all it is. And close it.
And it seems so simple, right? But getting
look, it is simple. We think it's hard because I think, oh my God, I have this emotion, I have this emotion, I have that emotion, oh my God, I have 25 emotions. But remember, your first emotion you never addressed. Then it came on top of it another emotion. Then on top of it another emotion. Then on top of it, if you have looking to those, oh my God, I have all of these emotions. No, we need to go back to the first one on the bottom. When you move that, those I don't have support anymore.
That's a good way to look at it. Really,
it's the way you look at it. But if you start fixing from the top going down, then you have a long line. Mm-hmm. But when you go straight down to the first problem, what happened to you at age of 4, let's deal with that instance, and then the rest of them start become useless. We don't need to address every single one of them. This is why when I do my healing, I do it in a short period of time, because we don't need to go all the details. We need to take the major ingredient. That's all it is.
Gotcha. That's so cool to think of it like that. That it can be so much simpler than we think it is.
Yes, because we never been addressed to see it differently.
Right.
You know, we're never exposed to seeing it differently, because like for me, if I'm working with you into the healing, I don't want to work with somebody for life for the healing. I get bored very fast. I'm a Gemini. You know, I got bored. I prefer to work with you for the purpose instead of working on the healing. Because what's the point of something already passed? We're not doing nothing about it. We cannot change it.
Right.
Now, if this morning, you had a breakfast, you didn't like the breakfast, make you sick in your stomach, and you want to throw up, there was something in the eggs. Now, you have 2 choices here. Either you deal with the eggs you ate, or you're not gonna ever eat eggs again. But we cannot change what you ate in the morning. because it's already gone, processed. So if we don't go and fix the feeling that you got from eating those eggs and released it, you will never eat eggs again, because it's always going to bring you that feeling. As simple as that.
I think everyone can relate to that.
Yeah, and if you don't deal with that feeling, and you're supposed to eat eggs because it might be good for you, then every time you keep experiencing now different experiences that keep bringing you to the same feeling, until you say, okay, I'm gonna go and deal with those eggs once and for all, because I keep attracting the same feeling. It's not about the experience we attract the feeling. Like when if I'm working one-on-one with you, I'm not gonna say, Lauren, tell me the story, what's happened? I don't care about it. I don't care about it because it's a story. I'm gonna say, how mom did she make you feel? That's all I need to say. What's the feelings? I'm gonna take you to the inner child that you were at that age. Let's see how she feels. I don't care about the story. We need to find the feeling. Once we have the feeling, we unplug it, that's all. And I do all the work in meditation, through meditation.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I've loved this conversation. It's just a different way to look at things. And I think that's always refreshing for people.
There's always a new thing to look at anything.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like you said, it's the awareness.
We need to bring the awareness. We need to have open mind.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. So why don't you tell everyone where we can find you, get more information?
Okay, you can find me on Facebook everywhere. So I'm very active on Facebook. I have 20,000 people on Facebook. And you can go to freespiritcenter.org. freespiritcenter.org, where this is my website. There's all information about if somebody wants a numerology chart, it's there. If somebody wants any of my online programs, they are listed under the online programs. I have VIP one-on-one if somebody wants to work one-on-one. And also I have the live events. I always have live events also. So if somebody they don't know which one to pick, if they click on the VIP segment and they scroll down, they can schedule a 30 minutes free talk with me, to see where they need to be at. If they are confused, which one they need to start with. And we can have a quick conversation, and we'll see where they need to be, where they are at, and where I'll take them through meditations through that call to find out from their inner child. It's not like me, I'm going to tell them, they're going to be discovering it on their own, so because it's their experience, it's not mine.
Right. Exactly. Awesome. Thank you so much for this conversation today. It was a lot of fun.
No problem. My pleasure.
There's so much in your head. I can't even imagine.
I can talk for the whole day anyway, so.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Right. Thank you so much. This was great.
No problem. My pleasure. Thank you for having me, Lauren.
You are welcome.